Welcome back. This is day 3 of my 30-day glass skin journey. Before we get into today's topic, I just want to say something directly to you. If you've ever looked at a shelf full of toners, essences, and serums and felt completely overwhelmed, not knowing which one you even need, that's completely normal, and you are not behind. I've been practicing dermatology for years, and even I remember a point where these categories felt confusing to me too. So today, I'm going to sit with you, step by step, and actually explain what's going on with these 3 products. In plain language, no jargon, no assumptions that you already know this. By the end of this video, this is going to make complete sense to you. I promise you that. Quick question to start. If I handed you a toner, an essence, and a serum, and asked you to explain the actual difference between them, not just they all hydrate, could you? Because in my experience, most people layer all 3 every single day without really knowing what each one is doing, and today I want to fix that together. Quick reminder, as always, this is my personal experience and general skincare education, not a substitute for seeing your own dermatologist in person. Today we're getting into the science of hydration layering, what separates a toner from an essence from a serum, why Korean routines are built around layering thin to thick, and why this order actually matters more than people assume. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what each product is formulated to do, and you'll be able to look at your own shelf and know whether you're actually using these products correctly or just piling on steps for no real benefit. Let's start with the core idea behind this whole part of the routine, because once this clicks, everything else makes sense. Skin absorbs products more effectively when they're applied from the thinnest, most watery texture to the thickest, richest texture. That's the entire logic behind the toner essence serum sequence. If you apply a thick, heavy product first, it can sit on the skin surface and actually block thinner, more hydrating products from being absorbed properly afterward. So the order isn't just tradition, it's about texture and absorption working with your skin instead of against it. Let's break down each one individually, starting with toner, because I think this is the most misunderstood product of the 3. In a Korean-style routine, toner is not the astringent, alcohol-heavy product a lot of people grew up associating with toner in Western drugstore aisles. That older style of toner was largely designed to strip oil and tighten pores, and it often left skin feeling dry and irritated. Korean-style toners are formulated very differently. They're typically lightweight, hydrating, water-based liquids used right after cleansing. Their main job is to rebalance the skin's surface and add a first layer of hydration, prepping the skin so everything applied afterward absorbs more effectively. Here's a personal check-in for you. Going into today, I actually swapped my old toner for a hydrating, alcohol-free one at the start of this challenge, and I noticed a real difference almost immediately. My skin didn't have that tight, dry feeling right after cleansing anymore. That's obviously just my own skin's response, not something I'm claiming will happen for everyone, but it's a genuinely noticeable shift in day-to-day comfort. Now let's talk about essence, because this is where a lot of people get confused, myself included when I first started learning about Korean routines years ago. Essence sits texturally between toner and serum. It's typically a bit more concentrated than a toner, but still lighter than a serum, and it's designed to deliver a boost of hydration along with some lightweight active ingredients, depending on the formula. Essences are often built around ingredients that support skin hydration and barrier function. Think humectants that draw water into the skin. The goal of an essence is really about deep hydration and prepping the skin further for whatever targeted treatment comes next. Let's pause here for a second. I want you to think about your own routine right now. Do you currently use all 3 of these? Toner, essence, and serum? Or have you been skipping essence because you weren't sure what it actually added? That's honestly one of the most common questions I get, and it's a completely fair one. Now, serum, this is usually the step people are most familiar with because it's the one associated with actives. Serums are the most concentrated of the 3, formulated to deliver specific active ingredients at higher concentrations, whether that's something like vitamin C for brightening, niacinamide for barrier support, or hyaluronic acid for deeper hydration. Because they're more concentrated, serums are usually where you'll see the most targeted results for specific skin concerns, but they also tend to be the step where ingredient sensitivity issues show up first if something doesn't agree with your skin. Here's an honest observation from where I am in this challenge right now. I've been layering a hydrating serum after my essence for the past 2 days, and while 3 days is nowhere near enough time to see any real change in my skin, I have noticed my skin looking a little less dull by midday, which I think is more likely just from the added surface hydration than anything dramatic happening at a deeper level. I want to be upfront about that distinction because it's easy to overcredit a new product too early. So here's the real question a lot of people have. Do you actually need all 3 steps every single day? way? Not necessarily. If your skin is on the drier side or you're dealing with a compromised barrier, all three can genuinely work well together because each one is reinforcing hydration at a slightly different level. But if your skin is more oily or you're newer to layering products, you can absolutely start with just a toner and a serum and add essence in later once you understand how your skin responds to added hydration. One consensus point that I think is worth stating clearly: none of these three product categories are strictly defined by regulation, which means formulations can vary quite a bit between brands. A toner from one brand might behave more like an essence from another. So instead of getting hung up on the label, it's more useful to look at the actual texture and ingredient list to understand what step a product is really playing in your routine. Let's also touch on a common mistake here because I see this constantly. People assume that layering more products automatically means more hydration and pile on toner, then essence, then serum, then a heavy moisturizer without giving each layer time to actually absorb. Rushing through these steps back to back without a short pause between them can leave products sitting on the surface, pilling, rather than being absorbed into the skin the way they're meant to be. A simple fix is just patting each layer in and giving it a moment before moving to the next step. Let's bring this together with a quick recap of today. Toner, essence, and serum aren't interchangeable. They're layered from lightest to most concentrated for a reason, with toner rebalancing and prepping the skin, essence adding a deeper layer of hydration, and serum delivering the most concentrated active ingredients for targeted concerns. You don't necessarily need all three every day, but if you do use them, the order and a bit of patience between layers genuinely matters for how well your skin absorbs them. I'd love to know, out of these three, which one do you currently skip, if any? Let me know in the comments. I read everyone. If this challenge is helping you understand your own routine a little better, hit subscribe so you catch every day. Tomorrow, on day 4, we're moving on to moisturizers and the difference between a gel, cream, and sleeping mask, and when you actually need each one. See you tomorrow for day 4.